Alright, welcome to another video here for Ether raids. I'm going to do these pretty haphazardly. So as you can see, we're starting a bit further because the first two matches, there's just no time left. Like, it's Sunday and the week is almost over. So, actually, it's Monday as I'm recording this, so the week is pretty much over. I just got the last match to play, and I don't think I can really put out enough. I don't think it will take way too long to edit everything, so I'm just going to do some of the highlights, including the losses, some of the losses, and see where that puts me, and then I'll just put those out, and hopefully I'll cover everything that I want to talk about in the time frame that those videos allot, and hopefully it should be enough to close out the week. I don't know, but yeah, I don't remember if I won or lost this. I think I won this one. Yeah. Reason being that I'm saying all that is that this week has been really tough. This Astra anima season has been pretty challenging. I think it's probably down to the fact that I just don't know which units like you see here, Freyja. And she's one of the new additions for this week. I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate her onto a team and how to, get her to have some value. And this is the configuration that I came up with. I don't think it's a really great team. Really, it's supposed to be a partnership with her and Sharena, but as of right now, as of playing a few matches with this particular combination and Freyja herself, I want to say that the biggest issue is with the threat range, because Freyja's infantry, and the only way to give her +1 movement is to give her the Sigurd ring. That doesn't really pair well with this season. You could also go with the Lin ring, which is what I ended up doing, but really she wants to be able to get out there and hit a big number. And the mobility kind of inhibits that. And if I were to give her the Sigurd ring, then she'd have to win a res check against Heimdallr, which is the mainstay for this season, or a mainstay for this season, and a big problem to deal with. So not a great combination. Just did not want to do that. So ultimately, I think I'm probably going to drop her from the offensive side of things. Like in terms of damage dealers, she's fantastic, but in terms of just being able to get there, it's kind of I feel restricted, and that's not a good thing.
I'll scare them off.
So ultimately, I was just trying to find ways to play around the restrictions with this Freyja. Yeah, she is a pretty strong unit, but her mobility kind of makes it not desirable, not fun to play with her on offense, and that's not what I'm looking for here. I'm trying to make the game more fun for myself, while also, I guess, making content. Both of those boxes need to be ticked for me, and using Freyja wasn't ticking the box. I think at least she really puts a really big tick in that box of being powerful, because this for Mortis here was really strong, especially with the support that you see going for him here. The Byleth support, most importantly, the Mia support, giving him reflex. Not a unit that you want to be taking a hit from, this Freyja, and this Freyja. What am I saying? This For Mortis rather, and this Freyja allowed me to initiate into For Mortis without having any concerns about whether or not I would win the combat. I was pretty confident that she would take him out, GG's, and that is indeed what she did. I was also a little bit I completely didn't remember whether or not For Mortis, I couldn't remember if you were allowed to take a hit from For Mortis.
I'll scare them off.
For his end action thing to work. So yes, you are able to take a hit from For Mortis. Yes, you have to win the fight. If you lose the fight, then you lose all your actions.
Whatever you say, boss.
So there were a few variables to consider when trying to plan this map out and figure out where I'm going to go, how I'm going to initiate. So for Mortis was the primary consideration, and then my other concern was, what to do with Byleth, what to do with Freyja. I wasn't quite sure who would be able to take out those 2 units. Thor was really handy, and Freyja and Mia. Pretty much this was a full team effort. And also, I could not for the life of me remember whether or not Boulder's, not Boulder, Hother's thing went off when you attacked her. For this match, it doesn't factor, but there's a few matches later on in the week that it does actually matter. Me remembering that specific fact, it does matter. So even if you initiate, Hother's thing will still go off and destroy the safety fence. But because I wasn't going on turn 1 here, I was kind of just setting up to, make it work. That's pretty much what I've been doing for these past 2 turns. But Hother's thing does go off once you attack. It's not whether or not you defeat the opponent, it's just if you attack or not. So if you're doing something like sniping with the Elise thing, or not sniping, but just getting Elise to do her thing, or attacking with the Lin Ring, even if you lose the combat, or if the combat does not go off, well, actually, to be fair, when attacking into Heimdallr, it doesn't pop. It doesn't proc the Hother thing. That's what am I wrong about that? I don't remember. But I know that if the attack goes off, if you see the combat mechanics, well, not the mechanic, if you see the combat screen where they do the sharing of the combat and what's happening and all of that, and the animations come up and everything, once that happens, Hother's catapult will essentially strike the safety fence, and you're out of a safety fence. I had to break the safety fence here to make sure that I got the 2 turns that I needed to get the extra action unit, or the extra unit. Here it is Camilla. I was pretty certain that this would be Ather, and I've set up my team in this way so that Camilla would have lost her action. I knew that this would happen, which is why Plumeria is all the way on the other side over there. So it would be pretty easy for me to dance and then get everything going. The problem with Camilla popping up there, and then also with the unit that has the summoning mechanic popping up down there, is that the terrain is all the way at the top of the map. So Camilla, the terrain is at the bottom of the map. So if there's no additional terrain up at the top, then Camilla can't really warp up there. But a lot of the times, there's at least the ice terrain up there that I can utilize. And also, you lose out on the benefit of Camilla canceling the terrain out if there's ice there. So, yeah, it's in this particular situation, it wasn't the worst case in the world, but this can be a strategy killer, depending on how much you're depending on Camilla to go up and attack. Being able to dance here, I wasn't certain if Camilla would still get this is also interesting. Even if the Ather effect procs and your unit's turn is ended, once you reactivate them with the dance from your dancer, they still get the 2 turns, or the 2 actions on that specific turn. That is actually really helpful information. So if you want to gamble something like this for the future, this is a good reference. Notice what happens here after I dance with Plumeria. I'm going to get 2 attacks with Camilla. She does not have the Edelgard ring. She's not running Gale Force. It's just the 2 attacks that come from being that extra slot unit on turn 3. So even if her attack is ended, her turn is ended, she will still be able to do the thing as that extra unit, and that's good. It's good that it's made like that. It's not a run ender, where I guess depending on what unit you lose in that, like if there was a dancer, like if Byleth was the one coming out, then you would not be able to dance Byleth with your dancer to regain those actions. So that would have automatically been like a GG's there, depending on the situation that you ran into. But yeah, this wasn't the worst. Camilla is still able to take control of the terrains and everything here, and ultimately I didn't really have to take everyone out here. Oh, this Alfred, this Alfred was really getting on my nerves. Could not take him out for the life of me, and because I used Camilla to take out Ather, because I needed to get her further up the map, otherwise I would have had to use a positional or use someone else to kill Ather. It kind of needed to be Camilla. because of the warping over top of Ather. And then if I were to attack with, let's say, anyone else, they'd have to step on that trap, the bull trap, and that would have been bad news because I don't have the healing tower. Normally, if I had the healing tower, I would have stepped on the bull trap a long time ago from turn 1, and that I would have healed all the way back. But again, there's no space anymore, so you can't really run anything like that. You just... Well, you know, to be fair, you probably could still run it and the safety fence, but that's too much space being utilized for things that I don't necessarily need. So I'm just going to stick with the safety fence and avoid the traps as best as I possibly can, which is something that I'm doing way better than I thought I would be doing. I was thinking I'd have to be stepping on these bolt traps way more often than I'm currently doing it. And it's not also the worst case in the world because you do have ways to potentially heal. It's just that it would take a long time to get everyone back to weapon condition, I mean, above 25%. You get the healing from the Makai ring still, so that's 1 unit every 7 turns, and I don't think you don't want to waste all 7 turns healing with the Makai ring. So, but I'm just saying that to let you know that there are ways you'll get your unit back to relative functional fighting condition if you do step on one of these traps. And then also a lot of them lose their effects. Depending on how crucial that effect is, if they're below 25, you kind of want that to be active. But yeah, you see me going here, picking off the units that I can. I hit the undefended in the perfect spot there. So I hit all 3 of those units because they're equal distance. Use Elm to hit the undefended right there to hit all 3 of them. And Camilla was able to take out Byleth. As you can see, she was losing the speed check, which is so bizarre, but yeah, that happens. And then, like, you see here, I'm not really able to kill much of anything. And this, man, I gotta tell you, this map took a lot of work. Did I win this? I'm pretty sure I won this.
They will submit.
Pretty sure. I figured out a way to make it all work. But we'll see as we get closer to the end whether I remember it correctly or not. I think I wasted a few actions. Mia was a problem. Or maybe I just surrendered.
What now?
I don't know, but we'll see as we get closer to the end if I won this one or not. But it was a really tough match, and it was the first of a couple of tough matches that I had this week. Like I said, Astra Anima season has been a challenge. I feel like my units are a bit, or at least my teams maybe, are a bit outdated for what is needed for where we are in the current game.
I'll scare them off.
So yeah, I'm just trying to make do with what I have. But I really like this Freyja. I think she's probably best suited to be on defense. I think the drive support that she provides is fantastic. I think her range on defense is more... you can manipulate her range on defense more and get better returns from it. And I think I actually have a spot for her on my Dark Season defense. I think I can fit her there. I think it could work, actually. So that's something that I'm considering. I think she's a great addition to defense. So that's probably where I'm going to end up putting her, since I just have not had a great time using her on offense this week. Sharena lost some movement because I had to gamble a trap, so that's why I had to waste an action there to dance her and try to figure out what's going on. And it's looking like this was a loss. I'm actually running out of actions here. I used the dual button there to remove some of the bonuses, but it didn't make as much of a difference as I was hoping it would. We were able to take out Alfred, who was actually a major pain. The problem is, the spot that I had to attack from, I would be stuck because of the terrain effects. Not enough deadly miasma. Remember I was saying that it's where Camilla, when the extra unit, or for me in this case, Camilla, comes in, if the unit is, the enemy surprise unit is all the way down there where Ather is, then you lose the potential of hitting your terrain effect further up and canceling out the enemy miasma ice terrain, and that's kind of what happened here. So yeah, this is a stalemate at this point. I can't take out... I have 2 actions. I have 1 action on Thor and 1 action on Sharena, and I just don't want to tank any of these units that are here, so GG's. Alright, so to again prevent confusion, I'm doing these out of place, and there were a couple of matches that were in between this one and the previous one, but I think there was one other, both of those were wins. So they're pretty easy wins. I'm just going to cut them because too much to edit. And I figured this was the next most entertaining match where I had the most to discuss. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this one. And again, sorry about any confusion. I'm just not being proactive with these recordings, so I got to figure out a way to try to make it all work and fit it all into a specific time slot. It's a lot of back stuff that shouldn't matter to you, but here we go. It's already started. This was a example of, or what I was saying so far with Freyja being on offense, or on defense rather. And I think she's fantastic there because you can manipulate the threat range a lot more. This match, I found out so this was my first time using the Elise here, and you see me make that mistake there, which I did not realize would happen, that if you attack, I was trying to do the thing where she cleanses everything and puts down the terrain and hits undefended, but I didn't realize that she would lose her action. That could have potentially been a run ender, or I think it was, I don't remember what happened here. I remember Alencia coming down and destroying me. I don't remember if it's this match or a different one, but yeah, Alencia is a problem. Or not Alencia, but you gotta pay attention with when you're attacking with Elise, you gotta pay attention to what you're doing. So that was a mistake that I made there. Also, going off on Heimdallr was a surprise. I didn't notice that if I attacked Heimdallr, the Seer Snare would have went off there. I think for some reason she had it. I don't know. Also weird, whatever the case may be. Or maybe I attacked Alencia. I think I attacked Alencia actually because I wanted the terrain to splash around. That was the best spot to have it splash. Really, the unit that you wanted to target here is Freyja because she's not within range of the Foresight Snare. So I should have attacked from over there, but I didn't do that because I didn't know what I was doing. I was being dumb. So this was a tough lesson here. Also needed to get rid of the bolt, the catapults, if I wanted to have my safety fence, and I didn't really have everything set up for that. So that was another challenge that I had to kind of, try to maneuver around, figuring out who was going to break that. And then I did this. This was a quick loss, I remember now. Like I was saying in the other video, attacking Ather destroys the safety fence, which I completely forgot. And everything is going to come down now. I tried to back up as best as possible, but I think I remember them getting all the way down there. I think I remember that, which is why this one is
Close your eyes.
4 minutes. That's why this one is a bit shorter. I think Alencia died, and I want to say
If Lady Embla were
I want to say Elm died too, because he's kind of stuck there because he got hit with the stall from Heimdallr, which is just the worst thing in the world. But I guess place your bets. You're about to see what happens soon, so let's see how this one broke down. Also, this was another strong defense. Like I said, it's been a really challenging... Oh, okay, yeah. Yikes. So yeah, that's how Alencia got down. But yeah, like I said, it's been a really difficult week for me to try to get my teams to function and do what I wanted them to do. It was just tough getting through, and this was another loss here. But I think I'll wrap this video up. Let's see another one.